what a man needs.
Sometimes when I hang out with other people that are my age and they're just kind of I'm just like, dude, like, oh my god, like, can we talk about like the political and economic state of the world?
Is what Jada Pinkett Smith is having to go through in that scenario, considering if at most you can say maybe she disappointed Will.
But here's where the Smith family story gets complicated, because every few years an old clip resurfaces, a new interview drops, or somebody from Hollywood says something that sends the internet right back into the same rabbit hole. For years, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith were seen as one of the most powerful celebrity couples in entertainment. They had the movies, the interviews, the red carpets, the family brand, and the image of being different from everybody else. But the more they opened up about their private life, the more people started questioning what was really happening behind the scenes. And when it comes to Jaden Smith, the conversation gets even more sensitive. Fans have watched him grow up in public, from a child actor standing beside his father in the pursuit of happiness, to becoming his own artist, fashion figure, and public personality. But because he grew up inside one of Hollywood's most talked about families, every awkward interview, every emotional comment, and every resurfaced family moment gets analyzed like it means something deeper. That is why clips involving Will, Jada, Jaden, and Willow keep going viral. Some viewers see a close, unconventional family. Others see warning signs. And then, once outside voices started making extreme allegations online, the whole conversation became even darker. Now, to be clear, a lot of the most serious claims floating around social media are unproven. But what is undeniable is this: the Smith family has left behind enough public interviews, confessions, and uncomfortable moments that people keep connecting dots, whether those dots are fair or not. And the next clip is one of the reasons this controversy keeps coming back.
Who knew that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do shit about it? Look at Willow and Jaden.
Look at them.
It's still, their resilience, for me, it's remarkable.
The reason that clip hits so hard is because it connects to a much older story that never fully disappeared. Jaden Smith wanting independence from his parents when he was still a teenager. Back in 2013, the public started hearing reports that Jaden was interested in becoming legally emancipated. At the time, it sounded shocking. This was not just any teenager talking about moving out. This was Will Smith's son, a young actor who had just been placed in front of the world as the lead of a major Hollywood movie alongside his father. That movie was After Earth. On paper, it looked like the perfect Smith family project. Will was the superstar. Jaden was the next generation talent. The film had a massive sci-fi concept, a big studio push, and the kind of branding that could have turned Jaden into a much bigger leading man overnight. But that is not how it played out. After Earth was hit hard by critics, and the public reaction was brutal. Instead of becoming a launch pad, it became one of the most painful chapters in Will and Jaden's public story. Years later, Will Smith admitted in his memoir that the backlash crushed him because he felt like he had led his son into a public failure. He wrote that Jaden felt betrayed, misled, and lost trust in his leadership. That one detail changed the way people looked at the whole emancipation story. Because now it was not just a rumor about a rich celebrity kid wanting freedom. It sounded like a young teenager who had been pushed into a massive spotlight, publicly criticized, and then emotionally pulled away from the person who had guided him there. And that is why the timing matters so much. Jaden's independence talk did not happen in a vacuum. It came around the same era when he was being criticized for After Earth, when his family's parenting style was being debated, and when old interview moments between him and Will were already making people uncomfortable online. Now, does that prove the darker accusations people throw around on social media? No, it does not. Public awkwardness is not evidence of a crime. A teenager wanting space is not proof of abuse, and internet theories are not facts. But what it does prove is that the family was dealing with real tension behind the polished Hollywood image. Will later acknowledged that Jaden ultimately decided against emancipation, but the fact that the conversation happened at all was enough to make people look back and ask, what was going on inside that house that the public did not understand? And when Katt Williams started talking about Will, Jada, Jaden, Hollywood pressure, and After Earth, it gave people a whole new reason to revisit that old chapter.
Will Smith is not the giant that he is. solely on the merits of Will Smith or his family. There are 300 corporations that are a part of the Will Smith business operation. Is what Jada Pinkett Smith is having to go through in that scenario, considering if at most you can say maybe she disappointed Will. Other than that, she is up.
Fact.
They had decided that they were finished with Will when he did After Earth with Jaden, because there was no way they was going to let Jaden on, because Jaden didn't have to do what you had to do to get in. We're not going to let you put Jaden and Will on. And from there, they've done what was necessary to take him from a $20 million movie to put him in a position where maybe it can appear he has a nervous breakdown and now is unemployable.
And after Katt frames After Earth as a turning point, the story moves into the controversy that completely changed how the public talked about Jada Pinkett Smith, because before the Oscars slap, before the separation headlines, and before all the later interviews, there was one word that took over the internet: entanglement. The August Alsina situation became one of the biggest celebrity scandals of 2020 because it was not just about a private relationship becoming public. It involved Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Jaden Smith's social circle, and years of rumors about what the Smith marriage actually was behind closed doors. August said he had been involved with Jada and claimed Will had given his blessing. Jada's team initially pushed back, but the story did not go away. In fact, it exploded so fast that Will and Jada eventually had to sit at the red table and address it directly. And the part that made viewers freeze was the connection everyone kept repeating online. August was not some random outsider. He had been close enough to the family that people remembered him being around Jaden. That detail made the scandal feel even messier.
Sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. He gave me his blessing, and I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life. I devoted myself to it. I gave my full self to it. So much so to the point that I can die right now.
Was Jaden's friend,
Right.
who he brought to the house.
So I think it was, and I ain't in nobody's business to say things, but when they were talking about, well, he was sick and he was mentally sick and he was emotionally sick. Now,
Yeah, I mean, I've actually compared her, Jada Pinkett, to R. Kelly without the underage part. And people got really mad. But without the underage part, what's really the difference?
Let me tell you something. If you're sick, like he's physically ill.
Yeah.
He's emotionally, and then the damage you do. Like, this dude was talking about, right? So it isn't just you having an affair or whatever you do. It's that in your wake, because you felt bad, that dude was behind.
After that interview, the pressure on Jada became impossible to ignore. August had given his side. The internet was already running wild with theories, and every entertainment page was asking the same question: what would Will and Jada say now? That is when Jada brought herself to the red table with Will sitting right across from her. And that episode became one of the most dissected celebrity conversations of the decade. Jada admitted that she and August had been involved during a period when she and Will were separated. Will pushed her to define it clearly, and that is when the word entanglement became a permanent part of pop culture. People clipped it, memed it, debated it, and turned it into the symbol of everything they believed was strange about the Smith marriage. But the bigger shock was not just the relationship itself. It was the way Will and Jada described their marriage. They made it clear they had been through a period where they were not functioning as a traditional couple. They said they had basically broken up. And years later, Jada would reveal that she and Will had actually been living separate lives since 2016. Even though the public still saw them as a married Hollywood power couple, that made people go back and rewatch the Red Table Talk differently. Suddenly, the awkward pauses, the tension, and Will's expression were no longer just viral meme material. To many viewers, they look like pieces of a much bigger story. And now, listen to how they explained it in their own words.
I was going through a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And we decided...
I was done with your
Yeah, you kicked me to the curb.
I was done with you.
Yeah.
Marriages have that, though. Marriages have that.
Yeah, we basically, we broke up.
And then what did you do, Jada?
Well, I think from there, as time went on, I got into a different kind of entanglement with August.
An entanglement?
Yes. Yes.
A relationship.
Yes, it was a relationship.
But while the internet was focused on Will, Jada, and August, another conversation kept building around Jaden himself. Because over the years, fans had noticed moments where Jaden looked different, sounded different, or seemed like he was carrying something heavy. Some people were protective of him. Some mocked him. Some created theories. And others simply wondered whether growing up as a Smith child came with a level of pressure that most people could never understand. In 2019, Will and Jada publicly discussed concerns about Jaden's health during a Red Table Talk episode. They said they had become worried after his diet changed, and he appeared drained. Jada said he was not getting enough nutrients, and Will described dark circles under his eyes, and even a grayness to his skin. Jaden clarified that he was vegetarian, not fully vegan, and talked about eating only 1 or 2 meals a day at times. That moment was supposed to be a family health conversation. But because it involved Jaden, it quickly became another internet debate. Some viewers saw concerned parents trying to help their son. Others felt uncomfortable that such a personal issue was being discussed publicly. And because the Smith family had already trained the public to expect private confessions on camera, every new reveal became part of the larger mystery people kept building around them. Then came another layer. Psychedelics. Jaden later spoke publicly about psychedelics and said his mother was the first person in the family to take that step. He described the experiences as something that helped him feel more love and empathy toward his siblings. To some people, that sounded like a family exploring alternative healing. To others, it raised questions about influence, boundaries, and whether the Smith children were exposed to too much too soon. And that is the pattern with this family. One side hears openness, the other side hears alarm bells. Even Will has admitted that he and Jada made mistakes with their children. He has spoken about radical honesty and about trying to raise them without the kind of strict control he experienced growing up. But the public reaction has always been divided. Were Will and Jada giving their kids freedom, or were they giving them too much freedom before they were ready for it? That question is exactly why Jaden's old interviews, health discussions, and personal comments keep resurfacing every time a new Smith family controversy breaks.
Jaden Smith says his mom introduced the family to psychedelic, those mental type, and a lot of them joints was illegal, you know what I'm saying? The ones that he's basically saying that his mama started giving them to take, and I'm like, it's crazy. You see the richest people with all these mental issues, they depressed, they don't know how to spend all this money they got, and then you look at people in third world countries who don't have nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with their mental health. They ain't out here depressed. They living in squabble. They living in serious poverty, but they not depressed. But the rich folks, they can't.
So when you put all of this together, the Smith family story is not just one scandal. It is a chain of public moments that keep feeding each other. You have Jaden's emancipation story. You have After Earth and Will's regret over how that movie affected his son. You have the August Alsina entanglement controversy. You have Will and Jada later revealing that their marriage had been far more complicated than fans realized. You have Jaden's health discussions, his comments about psychedelics, and the family's unusual approach to honesty, parenting, and personal growth. And then on top of all that, you have outside voices making shocking claims that spread fast because the public already sees the Smith family as mysterious, unconventional, and emotionally complicated. But this is where the line has to be clear. Public controversy is real. Their own interviews are real, their own admissions are real, but the most extreme allegations online remain unverified unless real evidence proves them. And that is why this story is so messy. It sits in the space between confirmed family drama and internet speculation. Some viewers believe the public has only seen the surface. Others believe the internet has taken awkward family moments and turned them into something darker than the facts support. Either way, one thing is obvious. The Smith family's image has changed forever. They went from being Hollywood's inspirational family brand to becoming one of the most debated celebrity families on the internet. Every clip is rewatched. Every quote is analyzed. Every old interview becomes evidence for somebody's theory. So now the question is not just what happened behind closed doors. The question is, did the public misunderstand this family for years? Or did the family reveal too much and accidentally give the internet everything it needed to build a controversy that will never go away?